Okay, this is attempt number 2 or 3 with the quick capture aspect of YouTube. I had given you an explanation of your answer and plus put up an answer. So I'll try to reproduce what it was that I had said. First and foremost, what I had said was, "Thank you, Grace, for actually putting up this video because it reminded me that I actually had put forth the question to the community." I put it up about 6 months ago, and for whatever reason, I got distracted and I forgot. I had about 6 or 7 different questions. Your video, Kenny Park's video, and then 4 or 5 questions in the text that I didn't answer. And that makes me look like a schmuck, not getting those answers out to people. So thank you very much for taking the time to record your question to me and reminding me that this video existed. So that was very cool. But your question to me was, where does my mind take me, or what do I think about before I go to bed? Where does my brain go subconsciously? And to be honest with you, it's very rare that my subconscious isn't influenced by my consciousness. In the sense that usually the way that it works for me is that I'm constantly thinking. Whether it's an active or a passive process, my brain is constantly spinning. If I'm observing things and I'm thinking about the implications of what they mean and how people interact with one another, and just what does it mean to be, when a person behaves a specific way, what is their motivation? I'm an observer. That's what I do. I sit back and I watch and I look and I think about what's going on and the implications of what people are doing and how it adds up, and just different aspects of life. I think about different scientific things that I've stumbled across, math, the greater questions, metaphysical ones. It just happens to be whatever has caught my attention or is on my mind at that moment. I don't have like a chart that I follow. Okay, it's Tuesday and it's the 15th. I need to think about corn. You know, it just happens to be crazy computer. It happens to be just whatever is going on in my life that day. I have a lot of very intelligent friends, and just in conversation with them, topics of thought come up, different concepts. They ask me questions. I ask them questions. You can ask anybody that I hang out with or talk to on a regular basis. I end up interviewing them. Whatever it is about them that strikes my interest, I'll ask them 100 questions. If you were like, say, a sanitation worker, I'd start asking you about the process of what it is that you do and how did you get into the job, and what do you feel like your job is like every day, and I mean, like, just whatever, because I'm curious about different things. When I go to bed, or when I'm laying in bed, wherever my head was up to that point is usually where my brain is going. And like I said, it's not necessarily I'm sitting there straining. It's just like my brain is constantly spinning. So whenever I tap in to see where it is at that point, if I take the time to do so, I go with it. So I can't say that there's any one particular topic that I think about when I go to sleep at night or when I'm laying there. It just happens to be whatever is floated into my head that day. I know that's really sort of a that doesn't answer you specifically. I think that from what I gather, it looked like you wanted to find out, if my brain goes in a particular direction. It doesn't. It goes in all directions. Whatever happens to be going on in the world at that minute in my life is where my brain is. I can never tell. But that's part of what I do. I just constantly think. I'm constantly wondering and questioning and contemplating about a multitude of things. So to answer your question, yeah, whatever I happen to sink into at that moment. I wish I could give you something more specific than that, but that's just the truth. If I hadn't answered this video today, chances are I would have been thinking about it throughout the day, on and off, and I'd have laid there and thought to myself, I got to make that video tomorrow. How am I going to answer the question? But that's simply because that's what happened today. If you hadn't sent this to me for 3, 4 more days, then up until that point, I'd be thinking God knows what. So now to ask you your question. First, as a side note, I just want to say you're a very petite lady. You're very tiny. That's not I don't mean that in an insulting fashion. It's just I noticed you're very small. That's very cool. But I noticed when you had made your video that behind you was a guitar and an amplifier. So I'm going to assume that you're a musician. So my question is going to be based on that. If you aren't a musician and that just happened to be in the room that you were recording in, let me know and I'll find a more appropriate question. But since you only had one video on your channel and not much information, I really didn't get a chance to take a look and see what you're about and then sort of devise a question out of that. So as a musician, if in fact you are one, my question is, what is the one thing in your world, whatever it is, through your life, whether it be daily interaction with friends and family, a personal thing for yourself, whatever it is, what is the one thing that is your greatest muse? Now, I can ask you who is your greatest influence as far as being a musician, or what kind of music do you prefer, but that's all relatively basic. But I want to know about you. What is the one thing in your life that you have found that is your strongest muse? Your desire to create music. Is it because you want to put out a message? Is it because you feel that you need to express your emotions? You just have ideas that sound good when you put words together that rhyme? What is it in your life that gives you the inspiration and motivation to pick up that guitar and start playing? That's what I want to know. And I look forward to your answer because I'm interested. And if I was wrong and that wasn't your guitar, then I'll be happy to create another one. So thank you very much once again for putting up your question to me. I appreciate it. It gave me an opportunity to see that I had this video, and rather than being a schmuck, I was given the opportunity to answer the questions and get back to all those people, even though it was 6 months later. I'm sorry for anybody that watched this video response. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much, lady. I look forward to hearing what you have to say, and I guess I'll talk to you later.